we have time? Do we have time for something very quick?
Yeah.
I'll try and be less than 5 minutes this time.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay. It's from the sublime to the ridiculous compared to what we've had before. But this is, sorry, it looks a bit like chicken guts. It's a speaker attached to a sound card attached to a PIR unit. So the sound card is it's a mini MP3 player, £2.88 on eBay. And the beauty of this particular model, there are quite a lot of sound players out there, but the beauty of this particular one is it has a slot for a micro SD card with up to 32 gigabytes. Because a lot of these sound cards have got very limited memory on them. And an MP3 file can run to a couple of meg in size, and you rapidly run out of memory. So with 32 gig on the SD card, you can have as much as you like, and you can swap the card in and out. It's also got a micro USB input as well. The PIR fires one of the triggers. The sound card's got 10 triggers on it, so you could have 10 separate devices, 10 separate sounds playing off this thing with different triggers to fire each one. But this is the main trigger, so that would be mounted on the front of the layout, and when anybody is passing the layout, it would trigger the sound file to play, which if I add a 9-volt battery to it, any second now it'll see me and start playing cattle mooing, which is what it does. So there you go. So the chap I'm making this for has a cattle dock on the layout, and he wants it to make sounds whenever anybody's watching the layout at exhibitions, and this will be the trigger for it. So it's a little bit of fun. And if there's a tiny bit more time, Paul, one last thing to show. Project I'm working on at the moment is this one, which is a 4mm scale yard crane with an automated mechanism underneath it to make it work. I've started printing it and realized the hard way. So it's got space for 2 servos and 2 drums underneath, but I've only got 1 mounted. So the whole body of the thing rotates, and it will lift, rotate, and then lower, and then lift, rotate, and lower, and hopefully do its thing. What I've discovered is that in 4mm scale, it is so small that 1/2 inch thick steel in full scale, in 4mm scale, is 0.15 millimeters. So I printed out the guide rail on my printer, which is about that thickness. It's just a sort of a metal loop that goes around the thing. And it actually printed, but it's so small I don't dare cut it off its supports yet, because it's only 10 layers of resin thick, this thing. So I'm going to have to make what was a laboriously designed, perfectly scaled crane. I'm going to have to basically double the thickness of everything, and it will still look prototypical, but just to give it the strength to stand up under its own weight.
What size crane was it, Andrew? Was it? It's not a 1 ton or a 10 ton or what?
I think it's a 1 ton Great Western yard crane, the sort of which you'd see on the edge of a goods shed. So it's not one of the bigger 6 ton cranes. I'll do that as well with the same mechanism.
Because sometimes outside they had the bigger.
Yes, yeah. So this is the little one that would be on the platform within a goods shed or on the side of a goods shed. It's based on the one at Abingdon.
Okay.
And the real challenge will be to print it again in 2mm scale and make that work.
It will be. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say we finished on some sound advice, but you've followed that up with something where we've had to a sort of pick me up at the end. It'd be good to follow some of these projects through as we do the show and tell sessions. So it'd be nice to see a demonstration of Ron's turntable thing actually moving. Nice to see the crane operated. And I was just thinking that the PIR gives you an idea where you could, with that device, the rest of the electronics, you could actually detect a train coming into a station if you could get the PIR detector to be replaced with something else, so that you could just play the announcements as particular trains came in. But
all kinds of possibilities. I was thinking with the crane of having a wagon with a RIFID chip underneath it, and if the wagon gets parked in front of the crane for a period of time, that would then trigger the crane to operate and do something, put something into the wagon or take something out of it.
I was quite expecting, instead of cows mooing, to hear the sound of someone saying, "Please don't touch, please don't touch," which is often said. Anyway, chaps, we call it a break there. We've had a good long hour and a half instead of an hour, which is good. See you in October, and we've got our presentation on JMRI.